Well, good afternoon, everyone. First thing I'd like to say is I'd like to thank whoever's responsible for this turn in the weather. That's honest to God, it's just fantastic that they've had such a wonderful day for their ceremony. They've worked so hard, they really deserve it. They really do. Before we begin, the bride and groom have requested this be an unplugged ceremony. If you don't know what an unplugged ceremony is, it means we'd like you to turn off your devices, phones, cameras. They've hired professional photographers here to capture this special moment. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy it with us. They'll be sure to share the photos with everyone afterwards. So, with that, we can begin. everyone could please stand, we welcome the bride and her father.
There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the need of the broken world can be turned away. Enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wonder that we've got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's made to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds leave the very
Thank you very much, everyone. Time to take your seats, and if the parents could remain standing. Parents, this occasion is a special celebration for you who have brought these children into the world and nurtured them into adulthood. Today you are witnessing another stage in the lives of your son and daughter. Your continuing support and encouragement will be needed as Katie and Joe unite in marriage. Linda, Laura, Tara, and Kevin, will you try with the greatest love and wisdom you can command to support this couple in every way? Very good. Thank you. So welcome everyone, friends and family of Katie and Joe, and thank you very much for being here on their very special day. We'll get this ceremony going with our first reading by Joe's cousin Colleen. She will be acknowledging also our family members in heaven with an Irish blessing.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your home, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and the light of friendship guide your paths together. And until we meet again, may you see your children's children. And may you be poor in misfortune, rich in blessings. May you know nothing but happiness from this day forward. May green be the grass you walk on. May blue be the skies above you. May pure be the joy that surrounds you. May joy be the hearts that love you. And when God beckons at the end of the day, like a life heaped high with love, may you know that the hand of a friend is always near. And today, may the spirit of love find a dwelling place in your hearts.
Thank you very much, Colleen. Beautiful words. Okay, for those who don't know me, my name is John Kelly. I'm known to Katie and Joe as Uncle John. And I am truly honored and would like to sincerely thank Katie and Joe for asking me to officiate today. Our families have been close from day one. Katie has always been more like a daughter to me, so it seems so natural to be here for the biggest day of her life. Before we begin, I would like to thank, I think, get you just to close the window on the roadside. Yeah, right on. Thank you. Before we begin, I would like to thank Katie's dad, Kevin. He was my roommate at university. He was my best friend. And it was through him that I met my wife, Janet, who is also Linda's sister. Kevin was the best man at our wedding, and Linda was our maid of honor. And I'm deeply touched to be officiating their daughter's wedding today. Now, when Katie and Joe first asked me to officiate, they said they'd always felt that Janet and I had such a strong and healthy marriage that they asked me to share a few things that, in my opinion, what makes a successful marriage. We don't usually dole out marriage advice, but when it's asked for, well, we'll give some. We'll give some. I'm no marriage counselor, but I do speak from 35 wonderful years together, married to the love of my life. Here are a few things that Janet and I feel are some guiding principles for marriage. Remember to treat yourselves and each other with respect, and remind yourselves often of what brought you together today, your deep and undying love for each other. Very important. A university professor of mine once told me that in any successful partnership, whether it be in marriage, life, or business, when each partner strives to contribute more than 50% of the work that has to be done, then you have a recipe for success. And that's worked well with Janet and I. We've always used that advice. When there's work to be done at home, as there always will be, it really doesn't matter what each of you are doing, as long as you're both working and contributing to life as family. This has also been a very important principle that Janet and I have lived by. Katie and Joe, your exceptional work ethic that you've demonstrated through your home renovations over the last years has been truly inspiring to watch. It really has. You've learned to communicate, share ideas, make decisions together. All of this has set you up for great success in marriage. It really has. Now, please remember that in stable marriages, there should be 5 times more positive interactions than negative ones. Okay, it's easy to find fault, but instead, spend your time focusing on your strengths and always try to inject a little humor. Always try to do that. Here's a small example. My wife Janet suffers from hot flashes. Sometimes she leaves a window open, it's -20 outside and the window's wide open. So I'll walk into the room later on, and I really could choose to focus on heating costs and the price of oil. But I really prefer to say something more humorous, like, "You still need this window open here?" It really gets us both laughing. Humor has always been an important part of our marriage, and it helps us to stay positive and to keep laughing. Try not to assume how your partner feels in any given situation. Always ask. Never assume. There will always be many things to do in your lives, especially when children come along. One thing that's very important is that you always make times for yourselves as a couple. Make a date and honor it. Okay? You have good resources in this town, as I've seen over the last week. Use them. Okay? I also want you to remember 3 magic words, since they're one of the key ingredients we feel to maintaining a healthy marriage. And it's not "I love you." All ready? It's "I am sorry." Okay? Remember those. Yeah. Right on. Katie's grandma Morrison often said, "Remember, we all change over time. Having a firm commitment to sticking with your relationship through good times and bad will make a big difference. Being mindful of the commitment you're making to each other today will help you adapt to the changes." Last piece of advice is a short, meaningful quote. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, but always with the same person. And let me tell you, when it works, it's a beautiful thing. Right, Joe? Lastly, my hope for you, Katie and Joe, is this. May you have many long years to delight in each other's company, to love and be loved by the friends and family who have come here today to support you. May you continue to make a home together that is at once sheltering and welcoming. May you each do meaningful, productive work at home and in the world, learning from your failures and growing in your accomplishments. May life's challenges be met together with courage and optimism, and may your days be filled with respect, trust, friendship, laughter, hope, and love. That's all I got for you. Okay, now we'd like to invite Katie's cousin Daniel and Katie's childhood friend Emily up for the 2nd and 3rd readings. And Daniel will start.
The key to love. The key to love is understanding, the ability to comprehend not only the spoken word, but those unspoken gestures, the little things that say so much by themselves. The key to love is forgiveness, to accept each other's faults and pardon mistakes, without forgetting, but with remembering what you learned. The key to love is sharing, facing your good fortunes as well as the bad, together, conquering problems, forever searching for ways to intensify your happiness. The key to love is giving, without thought of return, but with